What is a land contract, land installment contract, and agreement for deed? They are all nothing more than a promise to pay. They say, I'm the seller, you're the buyer. Mr. Buyer, when you pay me X number of payments for X number of months at X number of interest and pay me off, I will deliver you a deed to the property. That's all they are. Contract for deed, agreement for deed, land contract. That's all they are. It's very simple agreements that are a promise to pay upon time they get the deed. That's all there is to it. Lease options we'll get into later. If you're concerned about a seller getting a lien against them, you mean if you're buying with a land contract? Okay. Oh, okay. Well, by the way, I better point that out. In a wraparound mortgage, you cannot have a wraparound mortgage unless a deed is transferred. In order for me to buy a house here from Ed and give him a wraparound mortgage, he must first deed me the property, and then I give him back a mortgage. He has a lien against the property, but I now own it. Okay? Not true for land contract, agreement for deed, or land installment contract. Ed retains the deed in his name. All I have is an agreement to get that deed when I perform. I have an equitable interest in the property, but I don't technically own the house, and won't until I pay for it. Ed still owns it. So therefore, Roland's question was, what protects me against a judgment against Ed? Or from a judgment against Ed. If Ed gets a judgment against him, does it attach to his house even though I have a land contract to purchase it? Yes, because he's the owner of the house by deed. So how do I protect him? I simply, if I'm concerned about that, I'll ask Ed to put his property into a land trust. He's the beneficial interest, and whoever he wants as the trustee, he still owns the trust, which owns the house. He has total control. But now a lien against Ed will not attach to the house.
How about the other way around? If a buyer gets a judgment against him?
It depends. If I'm the buyer and you sold me the house and you took back a wraparound mortgage, a judgment against me now attaches to the house, doesn't it? Because I'm the owner, right?
On a wraparound. Okay.
On a wraparound. Now, that's right. That's right. Now, if I'm buying on land contract, though, and I'm the buyer, a judgment against me does not attach to the house because I don't own the house. So the only person that can put a judgment against the house is the owner of the house. Whoever's name is on the deed that's recorded at the courthouse is the only person that can have a lien against the house placed against the house because of them.
Sounds like it's better to sell on a land contract than buy on a wrap.
It's better to sell on a land contract. What state are we talking about?
Florida.
Florida? Agreement for deed. Yes, you're absolutely right. When I buy, I want title. When I sell, I don't necessarily want to give it up. He's right. I always want deed when I can get it. Question?
In Michigan land contract, what you need to do in buying a property like that is have the deed put into a third party holding and stating upon full payment of the contract. In the event of the
Put the deed in escrow, Earl, but that ain't going to stop a lien coming against the seller.
I'm just saying that what you need to do to make sure that the contract, when you pay it off, will be turned into your name. Because the guy could die and his heirs could hold it up or whatever.
Get a deed in escrow when you're buying with land contract. I just assume you don't buy with land contract. How's that grab you?
You don't like land contract?
Not when I'm buying. I love them when I'm selling. I'm going to do my best to get a deed and give the seller a wraparound mortgage in Ohio, Michigan, wherever. If there's no other way I can do it, I might consider a land contract. In escrow, like Earl said. But if I've already got the deed, I don't need to escrow it, do I? Always get a deed when you can. Don't ever pass up the opportunity to get a deed when you can.